Thank you, Shon. Thank you for everyone at Icon Coaching.
Simon, congratulations, man. You know what that is?
That's winning.
It's winning, baby. I love it when you're winning. That's fantastic.
I got 2 under contract, so that's like 2.8 million in 2 weeks.
You've got to take control of your production to make sure that you're making more money, your bank account balance is rising, that your net worth is increasing, and that's what we want to see happen.
So that they can save the listing.
Which I'm really, really thankful for, Shon. Thank you.
See everyone coming on board. Welcome to Icon Coaching's webinar.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome. We're just waiting for people to come on in. I see Mr. Dan Stewart is here. Welcome, Dan. How
I'm
you doing,
here. Buddy? What's shaking, Shonicus?
Captain Van Dan. Welcome, buddy. I love that nickname.
It's good to see you.
That's so good.
Good to see
and I see
Look,
some
Joel's
familiar
here.
faces as well. Joel, welcome. Let's see. Who else do we have here too? We've got some familiar faces for sure. I see Jonita Floyd. Welcome, Jonita. It's been a while. Good to see you. Wade Kelly, Colleen Fletcher. All right, good. We're a smaller group today, but that's okay. We're on a holiday week. It's all good. So guys, we have a great deal of respect for your investment of time, and we don't take that lightly. In fact, Dan and I have we have several goals that we want to talk with you about today. Number one, and more important than anything, I want to talk specifically, how about we're going to get the 12 to 2 ratio for all these guys, Dan? I want to make that happen for everybody. And I said it out loud, but I think a lot of these guys don't know what that means. What is a 12 to 2 ratio? Dan, why don't you explain it real quick?
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. And welcome to everybody. I love to see your smiling faces on camera. So if you're here and you don't have your camera on, turn your camera on. Like, let's be real and present for each other.
Let's do
it. That's how we're going to get stuff done. So 12 to 2, like that sounds like math. Who loves ratios? I know everyone in real estate is like, oh yes, math. We love it. Sure. Most of us don't, honestly. So here's how I want you to think of the 12 to 2 ratio. For every 12 people who genuinely know you, people who would say hello if they saw you out in public, there are 2 transactions per year as a statistical reality. Right? That is not as gravity. It just works, right? We don't have to think about it. That math is true. So if you know 100 people, that's 16 transactions per year. If you know 200 people, that's 32 transactions, 32 to 34 transactions per year. So the way to help you get tapped into all of that goodness that's available for you is to help you be more present in the lives of those people who genuinely know you. So,
well, let's talk about being present, Dan. What does that mean to you, to be present?
Yeah, so that is a really good question. I can send Janita a text and she can reply and I can ignore her reply. That doesn't feel like I'm very present to her, right? I can send her an email. Here's everything happening in the world. You know, this is great. That's not great. Here's a bunch of local events and I hope you're awesome. And by the way, I'd love your referrals. That's not being present. Like, it feels like marketing to her. It feels like she's got a target on her back, right? Being present with someone happens inside conversation. That's where it is. And just, show of hands, who's a parent on this call? Okay, so really just Shon and I? Okay. All right, but I remember for sure when my kids were small, you could just see if you gave them attention, if you were present in their lives, their behavior was 100% better. Like the way for that little kid, at least the ones I raised, to turn evil and have tantrums in the grocery store and whatever else, it's because they weren't getting the attention that they need. So, ask yourself this: if there are 2 transactions for every 12 people out there in the world, 12 genuine relationships, are you the only person they know who could possibly help them with a real estate transaction? Absolutely not. Right? And the one who's going to win is not the one who's just, another month has gone by. Here's the update. right? Another year has gone by. Happy New Year. It's not enough. Relationships live inside conversation. So if we're going to be present, we have to have a system for getting people to raise their hand, and then we have to be willing to actually have the conversations that we create.
Well,
So
and let's dive into that word system, Dan, because so many times agents do this merely just not intentionally. They do it through kind of like happenstance. It's not on purpose. It's, oh, I have time to do that. I'll do it today. But there's no real calendar. There's no real sequence. It's not meaning that this message is going to lead to the next message that leads to the no, it's just, I'm going to blast this one email out to everybody. And meanwhile, this buyer that just got my email that I just closed on a week ago, and I told them now's the perfect time to list their house for sale, total disconnect.
yeah, of course, of course. This is such a timely question for you to ask. I just wrapped a session with a bunch of agents from all over the country, one of them out in Colorado. He let me share the screen. I logged into his account in front of everybody, and we took a look at his database. Like, are you guys in the real estate business? Yes or no? You are, right? Do you think it might matter? It might be important for you to have physical addresses of your past clients in the database? Like, of course. This guy had 0 physical addresses for his past clients, right? So think about that. Somewhere there's 363 people who've worked with this individual. Those addresses are recorded somewhere. He just doesn't, he's a people guy. He's not a system process tech guy. So he didn't figure out how to get all that organized, right? So think about the way you might solve that problem. This is a perfect illustration of your point, Shon, right? You want the data. You want to have the physical addresses. Hi, Wade, it's Dan Stewart. Just was cleaning up my database and noticed I don't have a current address for you. Please reply to this address with your information. Can you do that for me? Thanks, Dan. I just gave you homework. You're not going to reply with that. We could be good friends, and you're not going to reply to that.
No.
That is a project. That's your agenda in someone else's inbox. That's not going to work.
Well, for
Right?
you, Dan, I
So
might reply to that. For you, I would. But
there
we
are
have a
people who, no
relationship.
matter what you send, your relationship is close enough, they're going to reply.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. But following this use case, right? So we've got a super productive agent. He's had 363 transactions. He doesn't have the physical addresses. We know if we just ask for the address, it's not going to yield a great result. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what do I really want? Do you really want the address? Do you get a prize for having the most physical addresses? No. There's no award for cleanest database. Here's more money for your bank. Doesn't work that way. What you really want are the opportunity to serve more people, right? You'd like to have more transactions. So if being present means being in conversation with people, all we really need is a messaging strategy that turns that outgoing message into an actual conversation. Right?
Well
So
said, Dan. Now, many people, they can't be present because of their attention span. Let's be honest. They listen to respond rather than listen to understand.
yeah,
And I only
that's
bring that
normal.
up to just get you to just slow down, really listen not only to the words. See, the words are 7% of their intent behind the communication. Please understand that. You have to pay attention to the music too. The music is the body language. It's the inflection. It's the use of pause. And when you pay attention to that, you mirror and match that. Well, what happens is they lean in, you lean in, and next thing you know, you're locking arms, you're doing business together.
Yeah, people don't want to be sold. They want to
No.
feel understood. And understanding happens when we practice active listening. I listen to someone state something and then I restate it in a way that makes them know for sure I actually understood what they were saying. That is validation. That feels really good. And real estate is what I would call an intimate profession. Follow me on that here for a moment. You're in people's houses. You're trusted with all sorts of sensitive data. Like they haven't cleaned their garage in 15 years, but you have to open the door and see the mess, right? You see how people actually live. It's a privileged place to be. And when you can actively listen and show that understanding to people, it's a lot easier to find the transactions you need, because to them, it feels magical. They're happy to introduce you to other people.
Yeah, but
And
Dan, the real estate industry has been sold a bag of goods, man. That's not how you sell real estate, they tell you. How you sell real estate is you save up some money and you go buy a bunch of leads, and then you follow up with those leads until they buy or die, and that's how you become successful. Am I right? Or better yet, you sign up for HomeLight or Agent Pronto or OpCity, and they
yeah,
give you leads. You don't
giveaway
even
of
have to pay
that
for
stuff.
them. They give it to you for free, guys. And then you do all the work to get the deal to close, and they take 35 to 45% of your commission away from you. Sounds like a good business model to me. Oh, but I didn't have to do any marketing.
Definitely
I
if
didn't
you're
have to do
selling
any,
leads.
I didn't have to do any proactive outreach, mind you, by the way. But I got the lead. And sure, a half a loaf of bread is better than no bread at all. But come on, you guys. Time is the only inventory you have in this life, and yet you're discounting your time by 35 to 45%.
Mm.
Why would we do that? Because it's easy. I'm here to tell you that the way that Dan and I are talking about selling real estate is 10 times easier than that. I'll ask the question. I ask it every time I do a webinar like this. Would you rather have, let's say, 200 internet leads that you bought and paid for sitting in your CRM to follow up with, or would you rather have just one rock solid referral from a trusted source, somebody who knows you, likes you, trusts you, they're pre-sold, that's going to end up in a commission check? Would you rather have? Come on, talk to me, guys.
Raise your
Rock
hand if you're
solid
alive.
referral. One rock solid referral, man.
Jonita, you're my
100%.
favorite person right now. Thank you. It's like, it's a rhetorical question. I get it. And that's why you guys didn't want to respond. It's like, he's right. Now I have to tell
We
him
know
he's
the
right.
answer.
Yet, guys, let me brag on Dan just for a second, because it is so powerful what Dan has done. Guys, he's invested the last 15 years of his life for us. I want you to get that. 15 years he's been working Happy Grasshopper, 12,000 members of this platform. Guys, he's managing 42 million relationships with emails, text messages, ringless voicemail drops. He's getting his clients a 12 to 2 return. Now, I partner with Dan because he's a rock star. This dude is a digital marketing genius, and frankly, a genius at that. I mean, he is the most intelligent person I've ever met in my life. He's coming up with systems and plans and ideas that frankly
It's the
blow my
glasses.
mind.
It's the
It's every
glasses.
other day I'm picking my jaw up off the floor. You guys have to understand this, that this man is brilliant, and combined with my knowledge of how to sell real estate, how to connect well with people, understanding what their motivations are and how to fulfill those motivations effectively and earn their business. Guys, this is a 1-2 punch that is unparalleled in this industry. When you make the decision to attend our free first session to the Built program, your mind is going to be stretched. And once your mind is stretched, it never goes back to its original form. You're going to be doing your business differently. It becomes smooth, predictable. It's weird. I was joked around before Built and said, yeah, one thing I love about real estate is that it's a calm and predictable business, right? Right? No, it's not that way at all, unless you get built, because you can go from the heights of joy and glory to the deepest, darkest places of depression, all between 8 and 9 in the morning in real estate sales. You really can. Yet when you're
Can I
working your
break something
business,
down, Sean? I'm
please.
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, you
I'm
don't have to
sorry to
ask a
interrupt.
question,
I'm
Dan.
just
Go
like,
ahead.
you're triggered all these things. I'm like, oh my God, they've got to know this. We gotta help these people, right?
Knock it
So,
out.
first of all, whatever we want and wherever we are, the path that connects them is through the relationships we build along the way. That's just how life works. Every business works that way. So, wherever you are in life and wherever you want to go, you simply have to think, well, do I already have the relationships I need to get me there? And that, to me, has been a very fascinating thing to observe, because I didn't grow up with, like all kinds of resources. My family moved a lot. I had 14 schools before I graduated from high school. And, every time we moved, I didn't have time to like make a ton of friends. I would make 1 or 2 really good friends. And like the greatest wealth I've ever had in my life are the relationships that I built with all these people in all these different places.
Mm.
So when you look around a room, any room, you think, well, who do I know? Who do I have access to that could be useful to me? And at the same time, looking around the same room, who's here that I can be useful to? Right? So Sean's talking about Built, this program that we've created to help people actually tap into that 12-to-2 ratio as a normal expected part of their business. And the most special thing about it is not the tech. The most special thing about it is the mindset shift of becoming the kind of person who's open to finding opportunity everywhere, to being a servant of other people first and trusting that that's going to come back to you tenfold, because it just does. It just does. I've had so many mentors show up in my life when I wasn't looking for them. They just appeared, and through happenstance, or maybe I was just smart enough to be open to accepting their guidance and their wisdom. That's where everything really changed for me. So today, like, my moving around childhood is so far gone, I barely remember it. But I will say I've raised 3 kids. My wife and I are married for 31 years. I've started 10 companies. I've had 4 exits. I've had a few dumpster fires too. That's true. But for the last almost 16 years, I've operated from a labor of love perspective. So anyone who's on this call, I want you to know that what Shon and I are talking about is different. Like, you already have all the amazing tech you need. What you don't have that you need is a way to put all that together in the order that the outcome is predictable. So back to leads, Shon. 300 million digital leads in the US in 2025. 300 million digital leads. That's crazy. Do you guys know how many transactions we had in 2025? Anybody know the number? Wasn't anywhere near 300 million.
I wish it were.
It was a little over 4 million, right? So what that means is that a typical, internet buyer's lead, they're registering online an average of 50 times, 50, before they're hiring an agent. And what do you think they do when it's time to hire an agent? Sure, they've been, leads all this time. They're getting all sorts of search updates and market updates and all that kind of marketing stuff. When they're ready to hire their agent, they turn to someone they know and they say, hey, do you know a good real estate agent I can work with? That's how it happens. 63% of all listings are won through a relationship. 41% of all buyers are hiring their agent through that relationship. So Shon and I are here to
Those
say
percentages should be a lot higher, you guys. Come on, they should be a lot
It could be, and
higher.
it should be. It could be, and it should be. There are people, I'm a brand new agent in a brand new part of the world where I don't know anyone. Go buy some leads. Like, join a team. Go be where people are so you can build relationships. But every single year you're in the business, it should get easier and easier and easier to find the income you're committed to, because that pool of people who know you, that pool of people who've experienced working with you directly, it's larger and larger every single year.
Dan, I talk to agents every day and they tell me, well, I ask them, how many in your sphere of influence? They say, oh, about 20, 25. You know more than 20 or 25 people, and the challenge is you're not communicating with them systematically. So one of the first things that you do in the Built program is you go through a digital system that's a memory jogger exercise. Dan came up with the name, the 15-minute pipeline. It takes about 15 minutes to go through. And I learned that the average person who goes through this memory jogger adds to their sphere of influence anywhere from 80 to 120 additional people. I want you to think about even if you went to like yellowpages.com and you looked at the industries in which a business could advertise in, there are 1,401 different industry types in yellowpages.com. And all you could do, you just go through each industry type and just ask yourself, who do I know who does that for a living? Then ask yourself, are they local to my market area? Do they know me? Do they like me? If the answer is yes, the next question is, are they in my CRM? Have I tagged them as SOI? Am I communicating with them systematically? Because if the answer is no, that is a major, You're missing out, unfortunately, and that's the challenge. So going through the memory jogger exercise, we're finding 80 to 120 additional people that you can really on purpose deepen a relationship with. See, one of the
I
things
got to
that
give an
Dan has done
example.
with 42
I
million relationships, sending emails, texts, ringless voicemail, Dan knows specifically, psychologically, how to gain engagement. And Dan, I'll let you talk in just 1 second. I want to say one more
Yep,
thing.
no worries. No
As
worries.
Dan said, if you sent an email that said, this is up, that's down, this is good, that's bad, and they know everything, why do they need to have a conversation with you? The simple truth is they don't. So rather, how would you get them to engage versus inform, Dan? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is actually a really good segue back to the story about the guy without the property addresses, right? So, if you know what you want, um, you have to figure, well, what's the best way to get it? And in this scenario, you always want to look at what's happening now that people are curious about and what's going on specifically with you that connects to that. So the more you know about a person sending and a person receiving, the better job you can do at creating the content that goes in between. So in this scenario, we look at today. What's going on today? Most of the world is watching soccer, right? Anybody watching the World Cup? Anyone FIFA fans here? Most Americans are like, well, we prefer the other kind of football, right? So that's the scenario for this guy. He wants the physical addresses. We know that FIFA is happening right now. We also know that he's a season ticket holder to the Denver Broncos, right? So the best way to get those people in conversation to get their physical addresses is, a subject line that says something like, "Are you watching the right kind of football?" Question mark, right? And then the content in the message is, "Hey, I know everybody's watching soccer right now, but I'm looking forward to the NFL cranking up again. In fact, I have season tickets. Would love to have a chat, reconnect with you, and see if maybe we can meet up soon. All my best." Right? We've raised some curiosity. We've left it unresolved. That's the
Write that down, you
formula
guys, real
for
quick.
engagement.
We can't let that slip by, Dan. You just kind of snuck it in there.
Raise their curiosity and leave it unresolved. That's the formula for engagement. So I want you to think about this as you're watching television or flipping through a magazine. Notice there's some things that completely inform you. Now you're educated. You don't need to ask questions. You get it. There are other things that engage you. Like, curious what kind of sandwich you would be? Take this quiz and find out. Like, that's a silly example, but it engages curiosity. It leaves it unresolved. So, what's my Deer Park home worth? Question mark. I don't know. Maybe I'd like to know. That engages curiosity. It leaves it unresolved. So rather than the typical newsletter, "Hi Wade, here's this, here's that, here's the other thing." The reader who gets that doesn't need to have a conversation with you because they feel fully informed. They know what's going on. They know what these local events are. So if you're tempted to send that kind of a newsletter out and you're willing to have more clients than you do right now, try this next time. Okay, this could be a text, could be a ringless voicemail drop, could be an email. Whatever is appropriate for the kind of relationship you have with the recipient. Like, if I know you've got me saved in your cell phone, I'm probably going to send a text message. "Hey, Shon, it's Dan. Do you have 2 minutes? I just read something about Lakeway real estate that surprised me. We should talk." "Oh, what is that thing? What did he read? I live in Lakeway. What's going on here? I've got to talk to Dan to find out." Right? I've raised the curiosity and I've left it unresolved.
And you went with asymmetric communication versus symmetric communication. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because that I think is important to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are messages that when they're sent, you feel a need to respond to them right away, don't you? Like, if I get a text, I'm probably going to respond to that. A few years ago, that was certainly the case. Nowadays, we're all getting texts from some robot we don't know, and we're clicking delete and report. So this is why you want to make sure the texts you do send come from your actual phone. not from some third-party number your people don't have saved, right? That's important. So that kind of message is designed to be responded to in real time. I wouldn't want to send a text or a ringless voicemail drop when I'm not available to have the conversation.
Right.
If I text 10 people, I'm probably having 3 or 4 conversations almost right away. I can't handle more than that, right? If I send a ringless voicemail drop, people are going to start calling me back right away. That is synchronous communication. The other kind is where I can send it now and you can reply whenever. That's email. Like, nobody gets that monthly newsletter and feels like they have to reply to it. No one has an expectation that, oh, Wade sent me a message, he needs a reply right away. I might only check my email once or twice a day. A lot of people do that. Some people go days. So, think about the relationship you have with the recipient that you're sending to, and let that guide you. Shon and I are texting all day, every day. It'd be weird if he sent me an email with something urgent. That's below the level of relationship that we have, right? And your clients, your past clients, your close sphere of influence, they would feel it was weird if the only thing they ever heard from you was marketing, marketing, marketing. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
I
hope
feel like a
that's
number when
helpful.
that's the case. It is incredibly helpful. The next thing that's going to be helpful to you guys is this. Now I'm going to post this URL to the chat in a moment. And I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to go through the 15-minute pipeline. You'll be shocked at how many people you actually know that maybe you're not communicating with systematically. Now, when I use that word systematically, a system to me is a standardized process that produces a consistent and predictable result. You modify it only for the dominant behavior style of your prospect or client, yet you get that consistent, predictable result, which for most people in real estate is unheard of. Those that are built, they expect it. So the 15-minute pipeline, let's get through it. And I just want to go through the first part of this with you, and then I'm going to post the URL so that you can go through the second part, because I want to bring awareness to what you might be missing out on. Okay. So Jonita, could you just participate with me just for a moment, please? Just unmute yourself. Awesome. First, tell me, how many
And
past clients do you have,
Shon,
Jonita?
I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. I really wish I could stay longer today. This has been a great conversation. I do have a commitment that I have to jump to in a couple minutes. So I'm going to hang out, but I'll just quietly excuse myself. And I did put the link to this in the chat for you guys, so that'll be available for you. So
You're a rock
thank
star,
you.
brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, guys. So, Jonita, how many past clients do you have? And just take your best educated guess for me.
25.
25. Fantastic.
25. Mhm.
Awesome. Now, for a question that many agents do not want me to ask them, how many of them have heard from you in the last 30 days?
5.
5. Fantastic. That's good. That's 20%. What's your average commission per transaction?
Average commission per transaction is 15,000.
Fantastic. Okay, so at 15,000 average GCI, 25 past clients. How many in your sphere of influence in total would you guess?
In total, I
For
guess
example, people
maybe
that genuinely know you. As Dan said, if they saw you at the grocery store, they'd walk up and say hi, or maybe even give you a hug.
those people. I'd probably say maybe 10.
Okay, so we would add 10 to that number, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'd go 35 people. How many of them, including sphere of influence, have heard from you in the last 30 days?
0.
0. Okay, so 5 in total from past clients. Average GCI is 15,000. So with 35 in your sphere of influence of past client list so far, what's at risk at the 12-to-2 ratio with your average commission per transaction is 15 grand. Now, Jonita, what I want you to start thinking immediately as you see that number is, oh crap, I better start communicating with my past clients, with my sphere of influence, because the most gut-wrenching feeling that we can experience in real estate sales as real estate agents is to drive past a past client's home and to see somebody else's for sale sign in that front yard. You guys, nobody wants that feeling. That is a terrible
Right.
feeling. Or one of your neighbors lists with somebody else. My goodness, you live right there. Shouldn't they know that you're in real estate? I mean, who knows the neighborhood better than you? That's like a weed that showed up in your garden. You got to pluck that thing right away. It reminds me of a client of mine, Alan Dom, out in the East Coast in Philadelphia. He's the condo king of Philadelphia, right? He'll do 3,500 transactions in 3 buildings. Hear me, 3,500 transactions in 3 buildings a year. It's crazy. If an agent dares list a property in one of his buildings, he buys it immediately. He plucks the weeds from his garden, you understand. He buys it, rents it out for 6 months, maybe a year, and then puts it back on the market and sells it. But the point is, he wants 100% market domination. That's his why. Now, as you go through this, and I digress, I apologize, guys. What percentage of referrals actually use you? I want you to think of a past client of yours or a sphere of influence. They referred you, Jonita, to a friend of theirs, a family member. What is the chance you're actually going to close that transaction with that referral? What do you think? Is it the industry average says 68%?
It's pretty high for me with the referrals once I get them. So I'd have to go more so with maybe 85 or 90% because I've gotten
Okay.
several referrals. Yeah.
Let's go 88%. All right, perfect. So essentially that kicks the number up to 66,000 is at risk. That's why you want to communicate with people systematically so that you can be there when it's time for them to buy, sell, or invest. Now, they don't go with the best agent when the time is right for them. I want you to hear this. They don't go with the best agent. They go with the agent that is most cognitively available, meaning front of mind. So even an agent that doesn't have the best skill in the world, if they're present, if they're communicating, if they're focused on nurturing a relationship, if they're cognitively available, they're going to get the call instead of you. Does that make sense? All right, good. So with that said, the next step in this exercise is to go through and start adding people to your sphere of influence. So again, these are the people that if you saw them at the grocery store, they would run up to you and say hi, might even give you a hug, something like that, right? So sphere of influence, we added that number. That was 15. I put it up there just to demonstrate. But if you're at 15 now, and I think that was your number, forgive me if it's not, we can start adding more people. So we'd start with family. Are they in your CRM? Are you communicating with them systematically? You'd go to your friends and social. Who do you know? Working colleagues. And think of your former employers, your HR director, the secretary, the office manager, people like that. Are they in your CRM? Are you communicating with them systematically? Are you engaging them? Your neighbors and community, service providers, guys, it just goes on and on. Tradespeople, home. Now, let's just say that as you're adding people and you're putting your numbers in, you're focused on adding, and let's say you added an additional 84 people to your sphere of influence, and you begin communicating with them systematically. So you get the 12-to-2 ratio. Guys, look at that number, Jonita. Does that blow your mind just a little bit?
Absolutely. Unbelievable.
I want you all to go through this exercise. This shows you what is in front of you, what you can get a hold of, how you can provide for yourselves and your loved ones at a very high level. And then the next thing I want you to do is recognize that the first session to Built, it's free. And I want you to take that next step and just click this here. If you're an agent, a leader, a mortgage lender, great. If you're an agent, perfect. Go ahead and read about the Built program. It's 6 sessions done over a 6-week period. We have you for 90 minutes live on a Zoom meeting every single week for 6 weeks in a row with assignments between sessions that are strategically designed to make sure that you guys get the 12-to-2 ratio. So if you're tired of chasing leads, trying to waste your money on paying for leads that are going nowhere, if you're tired of paying exorbitant referral fees to Agent Pronto and HomeLight and OpCity, Built is the answer. It truly is. And we want to align with you, women lock arms with you to make that happen. In fact, we are doing this as inexpensively as we possibly can. Quite honestly, it's a $2,000 program all day long. Guys, you can invest in your business for just $700. It's barely above our expenses to put this thing on because this is a passion project for us. We want to see you succeed at the highest level that you possibly can. And the easiest way to do that is through your sphere of influence. Stop chasing leads. Stop wasting money. Stop paying exorbitant referral fees and start earning the business the people that already know you, like you, and trust you guys. It's right there for the taking. We just need to engage them. All right. With that all said, I'm going to let you all go get on with your busy days and your weeks. And I just want to express my sincere gratitude for you guys showing up and allowing us to do what we are passionate about doing. And that's helping you achieve what you want to achieve. Check out Built. Guys, it's free. Go to the first session. I promise you, even if you just went to the first session, it's not a pitch, it's not a sale, it's not a close. You're actually going to learn something that you can apply and deploy in your business right away from the free first step. So we are launching again on July 22nd. July 22nd. Go to installbuilt.com. Check it out. And until I see you again next week, guys, because we do this every single week and I want you to keep showing up. Just be on purpose, be productive, be powerful, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.